Hey everyone, I'm Jessica, here to talk about an awesome solo game, and apparently I chose a hairstyle that matches the box cover. And the game that I am talking about today is Sanssouci. And that's right, where is she? Right there. Yeah, I'm just having fun with games. That's what I do. So I should note, this is an older version. There is a second edition that came out somewhat recently. This is the older one though, with older style art. I picked it up in a swap, I think, and I just like the art, so I'm sticking with that one. You'll probably notice too that on the box, it is one of those 2 to 4 player ones because there is an unofficial solo mode, which basically just takes the 2-player game and makes it so that you can play it solo. Very simple. I will include a link to find that. But this is a really pleasant sort of tile laying game where you are creating these palace gardens with all different types of features and moving these noblemen or visitors throughout and trying to score points for having them expand or kind of move down those paths and those rows as far as possible. The nice thing about this is kind of an older style game, at least for this one, in that the rulebook is amazingly a trifold, which I'm not a big fan of, but the point here is that most of the rules are right here. And then there are some examples and final scoring basically on the back, but that's it. So this is a very short rulebook that works pretty well. I had a couple of questions as I kind of learned this the first time, but it is a very smooth, quick playing game that is just really nice to play through. So how are you going to do this? So there's going to be a central board that looks like this. You can have a scoring tracker on the outside just for yourself. And then you're going to see this whole area in the middle, and there are actually going to be tiles that are populated throughout here. And those tiles are delightful. Let me show you what some of those look like. I have them all in a bag over here. You do have to sort out and separate what you would need for a 3-player or 4-player game, but I just keep these bagged and it's pretty easy. So these tiles are going to look something like this. Where is that? Get that statue on there. The nice part though is that they are all unique. Where's that maze? There's a nice little maze there. And then is this another statue one? Here's another statue one, but it's a different statue. So you're going to populate your garden area, which is going to look like this. There are boards that have kind of they're double-sided, and they have a random assortment of kind of where everything is and what you start with on there. But you're basically going to be covering up these different features based on what you are choosing, which come from the cards that are in your hand. So you will have cards that look like, let's grab a bunch. Each turn you'll have 2. So if I had something like this would tell me that I had 2 options on my turn. I can either take one of these, I think is that an herb garden, or I'm not sure exactly what it is, but I could take that if that was available in those tiles that are out there. Or this one is telling me I could choose one that was in the gray or the blue spot. Remember, like I said, they're tied to different areas here, and you can see the different colors in the middle. So why does that matter? That matters because you are filling up this board, and at the end, after you place one of these tiles, you're actually going to move a nobleman down potentially, but they have to go through connected spaces that are filled in. So you'll see right now, you start off with everything up here, and then there'll be kind of a random assortment. If I flip this over, you'll see it's different over here, but I could move to here if I wanted to, or if I started filling these in, I can move down. But nobles want to get as far down as possible because you can see these points along here, and they'll be worth more points towards the bottom. Filling up rows also is worth points, so there's a little bit to consider there. At the start of the game, you will also start with, I'll find them. You'll start with a sort of a mission card, I think it's called, but basically it gives you a feature that you will gain more points if you have more of those. So that's also an incentive to sort of pick that up and choose. And it's a really quick, nice sort of experience. I played with just the base game components. I think it also includes an expansion in the base game. And what that one does is it uses one of these overlays. So there's a couple of these that are, again, double-sided that just sort of give you different assortments. But basically how that would work would be, instead of just having a board like this, you would start with this kind of overlaying. And you can see then you have incentives for gaining something if you place a feature in one of those plus spaces, or there are negative spaces for if you place something in that space. So lots to think about, but not too complex. I like this one because it is just pleasant. It's a nice sort of nature-y type game. Again, some more tiles. Let's get some of those. There's also the backside to tiles, which you'll sometimes use the gardener to place when you can't really do much else with a tile. But on the other side of that, there's a nice fountain. There's a lot of these. I think there are 45 tiles used in the 2-player or solo mode. And they're just, you know, they're just pretty. There's a lot of greenery. It's like springtime or summer where you're just kind of traveling through, making this place that everybody's going to be able to visit and just enjoying it. And that is pretty much all the game is. It's a nice tile layer. The other reason I like it is the quality of these components. If I take one of those tiles, again, sometimes it's hard to show, but these are really thick. Show it. These are really nice, thick tiles. I'm gonna make it work. It'll work. You get the idea. But they're nice to handle. They're not flimsy or anything. They look nice on the board, and it is just a pleasant little walk. I think my plays take around somewhere between 20 and 30 minutes, probably around 25. Just a nice way to think about it and think through it. I think I have been trying to work towards some high scores that I have not come close to yet. I think specifically maybe 200 points is what I think I'm aiming for in the solo game. Haven't hit there, but that's okay. It's one of those where it's just nice to play through and enjoy it. The final score doesn't matter as much. I just like sitting back and looking at what I created and creating a scene, again, in Sanssouci. Sort of like this. And also, that's the other reason I like this version. If you look really closely at this box and kind of zoom in, you'll see different features that you'll see in the game. It's just a really nice, pleasant sort of experience. And it's nice that there's an unofficial solo mode available for it. I get to enjoy it. As always, thanks so much for watching, and I hope you get some great solo games to your table soon. Thanks again. Bye.